how does somebody know they need to consult a marketing agency? Because, we can jump on TikTok and create our own crappy videos. And we can do our own things. And I think when you are building a business, you're coming from kind of that small business and you're growing, you do tend to, when you're first starting a business, do a lot of stuff yourself.
Absolutely.
And we definitely get the same with technology. Yeah. Where, people looking after their computers, and now all of a sudden they've got employees, and they've got 10, and then they've got 20, and then all of a sudden there's, onboarding and offboarding and security, and nobody knows what's going on. And so, so there's a point in IT as well where people go, oh, we can't do this ourselves anymore. It's going to be more cost effective to outsource it. What point is that in a business for you, do you think?
I'm sure similar to your services, the easy way to determine it is if your time is more valuable spent doing something else, get somebody else to do it. But the smaller nuance, maybe specifically for marketing, I would say is if you're unclear on the connection, or the word we use is attribution, but if you're unclear on how what you do is actually connected to any form of result, that's when I can be of value to some degree.
Light bulb moment. I like that word attribution, because it's really, I often say, you can't manage what you don't measure. And if you don't know what the outcome is supposed to be, or, what your starting point was, how do you know whether it's been effective? Because I know, we have clients in various spaces. We've got a restaurant client. We'll do this, and this. But do you know how many people are walking and where they're coming from? How are they getting there? What are you using to track that? And, I just know. And so, so it's not until you really get that real data, which to say this is my starting point, and monitoring that.
Yep. One of the phrases that pains me the most as a marketer is when somebody says, oh, but I just do that for brand awareness, and then I do all these other things to make sales. And I was like, there should never be a disconnect between these two things. Yes. You've only just been trained that way because I guess in the past we didn't have the data. In the past, when I put a magazine ad out there, I didn't have a way of connecting the dots between who saw that ad and who drove into a store to do a sale. But now there should almost be no excuse. How do you connect those dots?
Yeah, totally trackable.
Yeah.
We talk about that a little bit with our clients when we're putting CRM systems in to run their businesses. That ideally you can see every single touch point from the time that person first arrived at your email.
Absolutely.
At your website. So they arrived at your website, they were there for 30 seconds, they went to this page, they called you. We can track. And I guess some people think that's a little bit intrusive. But I don't mind the idea that Facebook gives me ads that I'm interested in. Facebook's free. I'm not paying for it. And they can't run a business other than advertising is really what pays for a lot of services. And so I'm okay with advertising, and I'd much prefer that it's something that I'm interested in or that I've just been talking about. Because it saves me having to think about it.
Well, I think that the options aren't advertising or no advertising. The options are advertising that is personalized to what you're interested in versus quite frankly what would be. It always falls back to generic garbage if it's not something, like you get penis enlargement pill ads and all sorts of weird things that have nothing to do with you. So definitely better to be personalized. And back to what you were saying about CRMs, I see a lot of people get excited by the tech and they go, oh, great, we're able to see what the customers are doing or track them. And maybe that's where it feels intrusive. But my challenge is that amount of information is what unlocks the door to you improving the customer experience and giving the customer exactly what they need at that point. Now, if you're not using it for that, if you've just put the tool in place to track and give you numbers, you're not really getting the most out of it. But again, when I talk about being more human, if that tool gives you those those different points. Okay, they're here in the journey. Now I can be more human and interject at that point.
Yeah, and it's all about connection, right? Be part of the community.
Absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, people buy from people, and there's always, no matter what digital ad you're doing, people love to talk about funnels and it's, if I get 100 people to my website and 10 of them click and then one of them buys, I'm looking great. At the end of the day, if I can get one person to the website and one person clicks and one person buys, same result. So just build that connection.
Yeah, amazing.